Hello! Today's video comes to you on a notable day for winter recreationalists in the Northern Hemisphere, and that is the winter solstice. So happy winter, everybody. Unfortunately, the weather has not been very helpful in setting the mood so far this year, but it is at least marking the occasion with some fresh snow. That said, today is also a notable day on my personal calendar because it's my birthday. But it's not just any birthday, it's a particularly solemn birthday as it marks the beginning of me being an old person. I'm sure you'll be able to figure out the exact number, but I can't bring myself to say it. So as I turn the corner from maturing to aging, I thought you might indulge me if I put together a few reflections. After all, what kind of old man would I be if I didn't go around imparting unsolicited wisdom anywhere I find a captive audience? So here goes. Let's begin roughly in the year 2000, with teenage me. I remember thinking at the time that there was just no way I'd ever be able to have a full-time job. How did people do it? It would be too boring. Time would pass too slowly. Well, I'm pleased to report that the problem has resolved itself now. It's true what they say, that time speeds up as you get older. I guess that each passing hour now being much smaller in proportion to my past, and also the gradual loss of antsy, boyish vigor, plus the fulfillment or maybe shifting of youthful ambitions, have gone a long way towards helping me put my nose to the grindstone. I'm now in the stage of life of which it is said that the days are long but the years are short. Even so, the days themselves are rarely long enough, and the trend is not my friend as I consider how time will continue to slip away ever faster.
Well, we just can't get used to being here, where the ticking clock is loud and clear, children of eternity, on the run from entropy, and it hurts so bad, but it's so good to be young, and I don't want to go back, I just want to go on and on and on.
So anyways, it took me long enough, but as career angst slowly got resolved, my questions shifted. Could I ever be selfless enough to have a family? You spend your youth, by necessity, so focused on yourself, trying to become marketable and attractive, developing skills, indulging in your interests as a way of forming an identity. The longer your youth extends, and as you get more set in your ways and accustomed to self-determination, I think the harder it gets to set self aside. How do you flip the switch to suddenly labor for others, to have a family? In my experience, marriage and subsequently parenthood are not the switch. Rather, they are crucibles that expose just how unqualified you are for each. But I do think that aging offers some help here as well. As I pass the midpoint on the timeline of my life, and as I lose the ability to learn new tricks, there's a sobering realization. I'm no longer a wise investment. I might even be a lost cause. Thus, by no real effort of my own, my mentality shifts from self-improvement to generativity. It's not such a tragic loss to give up some of my time for the sake of the up-and-coming generation. On that note, yet another related question I've had to wrestle with, both as a youth and an adult, is how can I even love another? Growing up in a religious home, I remember hearing that I should love God first of all. But did I? How would I know if I did? Did I love my neighbor as myself? It never seemed to be something I could muster. How can I stop being so enamored with myself that I can seek the glory of another? But here, also, time has broken the spell by revealing that just as my flesh is corruptible physically, it is corruptible morally. I once again can't help but acknowledge that in and of myself, I am a poor investment. I'm left searching for something more enduring and more glorious to anchor myself to. I'm left looking for something outside of myself to love. But back to the topic of generativity. A few falls ago, I took a walk along the Rio Grande Trail in Colorado's Roaring Fork Valley. It seemed as if every plant was putting maximum effort into seed dispersal. The thought occurred to me, what does a plant get out of it? It just spent all these scarce resources and energy growing so it could die, so that another could live, which would also die doing the same thing. Surely this is vanity. As it is said in Ecclesiastes, isn't everything then meaningless? As I naturally shift toward generativity, I have to wonder, is there any virtue in it? I'm just an organism here for a little while to increase the entropy of my environment, and then to have more of my kind that do the same, ultimately just hastening us all toward the heat death of the universe. If that's the case, wouldn't we all be better off dieting, barely moving a muscle, and lowering our metabolisms as much as possible so as to reduce our entropy? Could we thus slow time down? Or should we eat, drink, and be merry? Well, since I'm a Christian, my outlook isn't so bleak. I think that the unidirectional vector of time must not be an irredeemable curse. If God subjected himself to time, if he died, and if he rose again as a pattern to be followed, then there's hope for me. And if I get to play a part in bringing into existence another eternal being that bears God's image, then generativity is actually incredibly meaningful.
So don't lose heart, though your body's wasting away. Your soul is not, it's being remade. Don't lose heart, no, don't lose heart. Your body will rise and never decay, day by day by day, day by day, day by day.
I'm not at the age where I'm starting to face down my own mortality, but I am nonetheless at an inflection point in my life where time starts to bring more personal harm than good. Still, I don't conclude that time is a curse or an aberration or an illusion. It's a necessity. It has many benefits. Because time does not stop, suffering is bearable. Time heals all wounds, as they say. This too shall pass. Time also allows progress, which is not a guarantee, but it is something that would not be possible without time. Time lets you see the fruit of your labor. Finally, time makes beautiful things like music and narrative possible. What kind of jumble of notes would a song be if not spread out to the rhythm of time? But if time begets narrative, it also begets suspense. We are all subjected to some degree of dramatic irony in this life, in which we have a prediction of the end of our story, but we still don't really know how things will turn out. We all live in the suspense of some kind of belief. Here's mine. When mankind was barred from the tree of life, wasn't it a blessing in disguise? Was it not the only scenario in which corrupt people could have the spell of self broken to be replaced with a new, incorruptible life of love? With the hope of a life to come in which I am no longer a slave to time or self, I can face this and every birthday without dread being the only logical conclusion. Teach us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom.
The world is new again, and the children of the King are ancient in their youth again. Or maybe it's a better thing.